So Facebook recently made a very big change to their tracking, and it's actually a positive change. So stay tuned to find out what it is. What's up everybody, Alvaro here from Alvaro Barrios Digital, and I have some good news from Metaland. I know it's actually kind of rare to have good news coming out of Metaland, but this really is positive right here. So if we go back to 2 years to when the iOS 14.5 debacle happened, you may recall, if you were running ads at that point, that there were all these steps that every account had to go through to better collect data because of the iOS 14.5 update. Namely, I'm talking about aggregated event measurement, or as I like to call it, aggravating event measurement. But Facebook recently got rid of that. So now when you navigate to your events manager, you'll actually notice that that tab is completely gone. Now, if you don't recall the purpose of aggregated event measurement, this is where we had to go in and tell Facebook what were our top prioritized events, the ones that matter the most to us, right? So for example, if you are primarily in the lead generation space, you would go in there and say, hey, the lead event is my #1 priority, followed by initiate checkout, purchase, whatever it might be. And then if you were e-commerce, right, you would put purchase as your top event, and then initiate checkout, then maybe add to cart, view content, whatever it might be. And so what this information did is that it would tell Facebook which conversion event it wanted you to show. So if you're in e-commerce space and you have purchase as your #1 event, which means they also initiated checkout, which means they also added to cart. If someone went all the way and purchased, it wouldn't show any of the other conversion events. It would only show the purchase events. So this was Facebook's way of managing the priority of conversion events shown in your account. That is all gone now. It was super annoying. If you had to make a change to it, it would also pause your campaigns for a certain period of time. And so it's all gone. You don't have to worry about that anymore, and I would say that that is really great news. The other thing that is no longer necessary is selecting or verifying your domain. So you may recall that when you headed to the ad level, again, this is all post iOS 14.5 debacle, you had to first verify your domain, and then at the ad level, you had to go scroll down and choose the verified domain that you wanted to use for that campaign. But you'll notice now that when you get there, there is no drop-down menu for selecting which verified domain you want to use for which campaign. It's completely gone. You can only select your pixel, and that is pretty much it. So you also no longer have to go through that step, which is a good thing. Now, that being said, I actually still do recommend that you verify your domains in your ad accounts, because that will actually improve your account quality score, which will be a plus in Meta's eyes. That way, if your account ever gets into trouble, for example, it gets disabled, or you get hacked, because of the fact that you have a higher account quality score, they'll give you a little bit more better treatment in return. So still do it, even though it's not a necessary step. So all in all though, like I said, this is just going back to the way things were pre-iOS 14.5. You can just completely ignore, even though I still encourage the verified domain, all the steps that were required previously. You're not gonna get all these annoying warnings like, hey, you haven't prioritized your events, you haven't done this, you haven't done that. Everything is just back to the way it was before. Now, that being said, this does not mean that we will still see iOS 14.5 people who have removed themselves. Those people are gone. There is no way of getting them back, and there's nothing we can do about that. All that's happening here is that what we have to do as advertisers to collect data through Facebook ads has simply been simplified. Hey, really quick, before I go any further, I did want to let you know that I have a brand new training that goes over the exact reason your Facebook ads keep on crashing. So if you are in that situation, check out the link below and let me know what you think. Now, you might be asking yourself, why did Facebook / Meta do any of this work in the first place? Why did they force us to go through all of these steps? And the reality is that I think they overreacted to the iOS 14.5 updates. As you recall, many years ago with the whole Cambridge Analytica debacle. Facebook was under a lot of heat for the way it was tracking people and data information, all this kind of stuff. And once Apple announced that they were going to give people the ability to not be tracked by Facebook ads, or any ads for that matter, Facebook panicked, right? And like, oh, we don't want other companies and advertisers to really hate us and give them this ability to opt out of being tracked. And so they enabled all these annoying, aggravating features that we had to go through in order to, you know, be in compliance and all kind of stuff. But really, I think it was an overreaction. You know, if someone opts out, they're opted out. That's on them. There's nothing we can do about that. We as advertisers just have to accept that, and we move forward with the people who are not opted out. You know, in my mind, it was always that simple, but they felt to go, you know, the extra couple yards to ensure this crazy, annoying structure that we had to go through, but that is no longer the case. So just wanted to make sure you were aware of this update, and moving forward, you never have to worry about this again. So if you have any questions about this or how it impacts your campaigns and data in your account, just let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.